Hello, how are you? I'm Sam Taris. I will be with you in this subject which is known as Civics. And the Civics is one among of subjects which are supposed to start if you are a student of ordinary level. So this is one among of the subjects which you are supposed to learn. So in this subject, we are going to discuss a lot of issues which are being included on that subject. So today I would like to present to you about those issues which we are going to discuss or to see or to observe one after another. So subject, I think there are some students, they have heard somewhere about this subject. That's why it's not unfamiliar to some students. So you have to be very careful to know what you are going to discuss and what are the issues which are being included on this subject. So before I started which you are going to discuss here, I would like to give you a little bit about this subject. That's why when you are discussing a lot of subjects or other subjects, first of all, you have to know the meaning of that subject. Also, what are the importances? What are the advantages which you can be benefited when you will be studying a certain subject? So, even in this subject, that is Civics, first of all, we have to start to see Introduction to Civics. Introduction to Civics. And when we talk about Introduction to Civics, it simply means that there are some issues which will be started to learn about this subject. That's why it tries to give you what you are going to discuss about a given subject which you are discussing here. First of all, we have to start with what is civics. So these are two issues which you have to be very careful. That's why we are discussing by using this period. Introduction to Civics. The first issue is what is civics? What is civics? And thereafter we are going to discuss what are the importances of studying civics. What are the importances? That's why when you are reading anything, when you are doing anything, there are some issues which you can benefit. So even when you are studying this subject, there are some issues which will help us to know according to all aspects of life. I think you will be discussed one after another. So civics, we're starting with the meaning of civics. When we talk about civics is the study of human rights and the responsibilities of citizens. Civics is a study of human rights and the responsibilities of citizens, the governance and the environment in which our society is formed. So when you speak about civics, it simply means that it's a study of human rights. And when you talk about human rights, there are a lot of them. That's why you are a human being. There are a lot of rights which are supposed to be observed on yourself or even others. So these, we call them human rights. These are demands. These are the demands of everyone. If you are a human being, there are several human rights which are being supposed to be observed to you or even to others. And I think you are going to see examples of human rights. And also, after studying human rights, you are going to see responsibilities of citizens. Responsibilities of citizens. And I would like to give you a little bit about a term citizen. A citizen is a person who belongs to a given country. Example, a Tanzanian, a Kenyan, and among others. So these are examples of citizens. So here we are going to see responsibilities of citizens. If you are a Tanzanian, what are the responsibilities? What are your responsibilities if you are Kenyan and among nations? So here we are going to see responsibilities of every citizen in a particular country. And those responsibilities I think you are going to see, but I'm trying to give you a little bit about those responsibilities of the citizens. Also, the governance. Also, we are going to see responsibilities of governments. So when you speak about government, it simply means that is a group of people who are controlling either a country or a state. So also on this subject, we are going to see what are the responsibilities of the governments. Example, there is government of United Republic of Tanzania. So this is one among of the governments in every nations like Tanzania, or particularly in Tanzania. So they have a lot of responsibilities to observe or to do to their citizen who has been selected them or positioned them to be as the leaders of different institutions, different levels of administration, and among others. Also, we are going to see environment in which our society is found. So here, in this definition, we have to underline the important issues or key issues, which is human rights, responsibilities of citizens, responsibilities of governance, also environment in which society is found. We know we are human beings. We belong to several environment. If you are a Tanzanian, what are the issues which are being found in the society of Tanzania? So also this is another issue or key term which found in the definition of civics. That is the first definition of civics. So let us now go directly to another definition of civics. Also, we can define civics as the study of human rights, duties, responsibilities, and the roles of every citizen in the society. So also, when we talk about civics, it simply means that we are studying about human rights, as we have discussed on the first definition. Also, we are discussing about duties. What are the duties of every human being in the national or in the particular society or among others? It depends where you are. Also, and the roles of every citizen of the society. If you yourself, you have to ask yourself, I'm a Tanzanian. What are the roles which should be played by myself? You have to ask a certain question like that. If you can get a lot of answers about a question which you are trying to ask yourself, you may see what is your positions, what are the positions which you have to observe as a Tanzanian. After looking the second definition of civics, let us go to the third definition of civics. That is, civics is the study of the civics is the study of the rights, duties of citizens, and how government works at the given society. Also, on this definition, we are trying to see the term rights, duties, governance, and among others. So on that definition tries to emphasize what are the works which should be done by the government. We know there are several governance or government at a particular society. So every government at a given country has its work which should be observed to their people. Let me give you an example. In Tanzania, we have government also. So they have work to perform to their people who selected them or who have been involved in different processes or procedures that made them to be on that position. So after being looked at the every position or at a given position, we must know their work. If it is a government, what are the responsibilities of the government to its people? So that is another issue which are being emphasized on the the third definition of civics. Also, when we start this subject, we normally learn a lot of issues, all aspects of life. Also, the point which you have to take into consideration is that when we are studying this subject, you have to be very careful. That's why there are a lot of issues which are being practiced in our society. There are a lot of issues which can be experienced in our society. So the point which you have to take into consideration is that if I'm speaking about Makonde tribe, what are the issues which belongs to that tribe? If I'm speaking about a Sukuma tribe, what are the issues which belongs to that tribe? So that is the issues which are being talked about in this paragraph. So we are going to see a lot of issues which belongs to every society, and those issues which you are going to see, those issues which you are going to see center in all aspects of life, or in all spheres of life. I mean politically, socially, and economical. And I can start to brief you about the issues which concern on political issues. When we speak about political issues which you are going to see on this subject, where we are going to see how or what are the procedures which can help us to get our leaders. What are the issues which will help us to know how I can be selected or being selected to be a leader. That is a short explanation about the political issues. And then social issues also, we have a lot of tribes, we have a lot of societies in Tanzania. So here we are going to see what are the issues related to the social, related to this at the given society. Here we are going to see the culture of the people according to their society. Also we are going to see what are their productive or economic activities which are being practiced by a given society, and that directly concern about economical issues. So we have to, I would like to paraphrase about this paragraph. We are going to see or to discuss those issues which concern or which deals in our daily activities according to the given society. After discussing about these three definitions of civics, I think you have got a little bit about this subject. There are some questions which maybe you started to ask yourself. So due to those brief explanation about the concept of civics, I think some of them have started to be answered about those discussions or those explanations which I was trying to tell you. After looking at the meaning of civics, now let us go directly to the importance of civics. Importance of civics. Before starting those importance of civics, I want to give you an example of anything that can help to see what you are going to discuss. If we are doing any issue or any activity, that activity which you are doing, there are some importances, there are some advantages which you may get after doing a certain work or after doing a certain activity. So those benefits which you may get, you can stand on in front of the people and you can say, I did this kind of work and I have benefited a lot of issues. The first one is the second one, third one, and among others. So also in this subject, after looking the meaning of civics, so we are going to see importances of civics or importance of studying civics. That's why when you are reading this subject, there are a lot of advantages which we may get. And I think after looking those, or if we can trace back about those issues which we were discussing on introduction of civics or in the meaning of civics, there are some importances which you have already got. About those, a little bit explanation which I gave you. Also, now let us go one after another. Importances of studying civics. So here, there are some words which can be placed here apart from importance. It can be roles of studying civics, advantages of studying civics, merits of studying civics, and among others. But the point which you have to be very careful or to understand here is the importance of studying civics. What are the importances which you may get when you may read or when you are studying this subject? The first one is it helps to know human rights. The first importance of studying civics is that it helps the first importance of studying civics is that it helps to know human rights. You are a human being. You have to ask yourself, I'm a human being. What are my rights as other human being? So here we are going to discuss or to see a lot of human rights. Example, right to live. You are a human being. You have to know that the to live is one among of your human rights. So if you can be attacked or you can be murdered, maybe you can be taken into the jail. That's why you did a mistake. You tried to do mistakes. That's why you tried to kill somebody. If you have killed somebody, that's a criminal case. So that's why you have tried to violate a certain human being of somebody. So it helps to know human rights, e.g. right to live, education. So they're trying to violate your human rights. Also, freedom of speech. You are a human being. You have a right to be very free to express each and everything by considering you are not, but when you are trying to give a little bit of freedom of speech, you are trying to advise or to do anything, you have to make sure that I'm doing my right, but you have to be very, very careful not violating other human beings. So you have to use this right of this freedom of speech accordingly. Also, right of worship. If you are a human being, you have a freedom to pray worship according to what you believe. You cannot be forced to pray worship to what you are not believe. So you have to know that if I'm a Muslim, I will pray worship according to what I believe, and I cannot be forced by anybody to pray worship to anything that I'm not believe on that issue, which I not believe on that beliefs. So that is one among of the importances of studying civics. And these importances concern on that human rights, I think these are the some of them, but I tried to chop off and chop in a lot of examples, but you have to be very careful. And there are a lot of them, but these are some of them. So that is the first importance of studying civics. And the second importance of studying civics is that it helps to know responsibilities and the duties of citizens in the country. When you are studying civics, it will enable us to know our responsibilities, our duties. As if I'm a reader, there are several responsibilities. If I'm a normal citizen, there are a lot of responsibilities or duties. So when you are studying this subject, it will enable us to know a lot of responsibilities of every citizen, a lot of responsibilities of a lot of duties of every citizen. You have to show them. So these are the responsibilities, and I gave you one example here which concern about responsibilities of citizen or duties of citizen, that is to participate in social activities. So you have to know that if there is any issue which has been occurred at your environment or at your neighbor, you have to know that I'm so responsible to participate on that issue. Maybe in a funeral, and among others. So if or when you are studying this subject, it will help us to know what are the advantages which we may get when we can be engaged or involved in a lot of activities which are being practiced in our society or which occur in our environment and among others. So here I gave you an example like a funeral. If you are young, you have to know that if there is any activity which has been occurred in your environment, you have to know that I'm so responsible to involve on that activity or that issue. That is second importance of studying civics. Also, third importance of studying civics is that it helps to know proper and improper behaviors. When you are studying civics, it will help us to know improper and improper behavior. And I want to give you a short explanation about what is proper and improper behavior. When we talk about proper behavior, refers to those behavior which has been accepted at the given society. So if that behavior which you have, if it is accepted in the society, if it is considered to be a good society, a good behavior, that is the proper behavior. Like using polite language, not engaging in criminal activities, and among others. So that are the some examples of proper behavior. And when we talk about improper behavior refers or are those behaviors that are not accepted, that are not or that do not accepted, that do not accept in the society. We know we are Tanzanians. There are some behaviors which are accepted in our society, and there are other behaviors that are not accepted in our society. So those behaviors which are not accepted in the society, you have to know that this is a proper or these are the improper behaviors. And those behaviors that are not accepted in the society, you have to know that these are not good behaviors. That's why they do not accept my society. So here, when we are studying in this subject, it helps to know proper and improper behaviors. Example, drunkenness. Drunkenness is one among of improper behavior. If you are being engaged in drunkenness, that is improper behavior. It is not or it does not accepted in our society. Also, wearing tight and short clothes. And I would like to give a little explanation about it. Wearing tight and short clothes. When we speak about short clothes, are those clothes which do not, which trying to narrow our body or to show our physical appearance of our body. So if you wear a shirt, a trouser, and among others are trying to narrow and to show internal or external appearance of physical body of somebody. So that is wearing tight and short clothes. That is one among of improper behavior. It is not our culture. Also, using polite language. If you are someone who uses polite language when you meet with the several people in the roads, or when you speak with your neighbors or your fellow, if you use polite language, you have to see, or you have to know that that is one among of proper behavior. We have to use proper or polite language. That's why, apart from using proper behavior, proper polite language, it can be considered as an abusive language. That is third importance of studying civics. Also, the fourth one is it promotes peace and security in the society. It promotes peace and security in the society. When you are studying this subject, it will help us to know, and promote, or develop. That's why when we speak about peace and security, it simply means that people are living freely without any disturbance. So if you are a human being, if you are a citizen of a certain country, you have to observe peace and security in your society. You should avoid to be a causative agent of violating peace and security in the society. So that is another importance of studying civics. You have to promote peace and security in your society. If you will be out of this, I think that is a mistake. That is one among of improper behavior, as we discussed on the third importance of studying civics. Also, the fifth one importance of studying civics is that it helps to understand. It helps to understand road safety. Also, another importance of studying civics is that it will help you, or it will help us, or it helps us to understand road safety. And when we talk about road safety, it simply means that when you are traveling from one place to another, or when you are traveling from one place to another without being free, that is we call road accident. And but when you talk about road safety, when you travel freely, without any disturbance. So you have to be very careful about it. Road safety. But in this subject, when we are studying this subject, it will help us to know the importance of, or to understand the term road safety. Example, causes, impact, and the measures of road accident. And when we talk about road accident, it simply means that it is any event, it is an unexpected event that occur in the road. So if you are traveling and there is a certain event that has been occurred in the road, and it was not accepted, it was not expected to those passengers, that is the road accident. So when we are studying this subject, it will help us to know several causes of the road accident. Like overloading our vehicles. Also, impacts of road accident. What are the negative impacts which may be occurred soon after road accident take place in the road? So we may lose our lives. Also, there is loss of our property. It can cause permanent disability. That's why we have a lot of people who are disabled ones due to a lot of accidents which have been affected them. Also, after looking causes, impacting, also measures. So we have a lot of road accidents which occur in our daily life. So when we are studying about this subject, it helps us to know causes, impact, and measures Measures, it simply means that are those ways which can be taken by all road users so as to prevent of being affected by road accident, or to prevent out of road accident. So that is another importance of studying civics. Also, another importance of studying civics is that to understand and uphold our culture. That is another importance of studying civics. We know when we speak about culture, it simply means that are all ways in all ways of life which we live. So when we are studying about this subject, it will help us to know several culture or several ways of life at the given society. If you use Sukuma language, that is a culture of Sukuma tribe. So I think I will not speak a lot about culture. That's why we are going to discuss a topic in other levels or in other classes. Also, another importance of studying civics is that to establish good relationship and respect. Also, apart from those importance of studying civics, also when we are studying this subject, it will help us to know how can I establish a good relationship with my fellow. How can I establish with good relationship with those people which I meet in our society or in our daily activities. So it will help if I want to establish a good relationship that will not affect me negatively. I want to do this and this. Those issues I think we are going to discuss one after another. Also, respect. You have to respect yourself. You have to respect your fellows. That's why if you can respect yourself and you can respect others, even those people, they can respect you. That's why not when you are trying to not respect other people, even other people will not respect you. So you have to be very careful to respect your fellow, to respect the people who are older than you, and among others. Also, the last one importance of studying civics is that to know types and the importance of a work. Also, in this subject, it will enable us to know several types of the work. Also, we are going to see what are the importance of the work. That's why we know in our society there are some people who do not want to be engaged in any economic or productive activities. But when they can study this subject, it can help them to know the importance of being engaged on several works. And that work which may be selected by them to be engaged on that, first of all, should be asking themselves to know if this is criminal or this is lawful or unlawful work. Also, after looking that, they should ask themselves to know the types of the works. So I want to be engaged on this type of the work due to the following, or due to a lot of factors or number of the factors. Also, importance of the work. If I can be engaged at the given work, I can be benefited with a lot of issues. So this subject helps a lot of the people to know types and the importances of the work. So that is short introduction, or that is introduction to the civics, which we have discussed about the meaning of the civics and discussing about the importances of the civics. So, hello. There is a short task here which I would like to give you so as to do. That's why if you can do this task, it will help you to know what are the key issues which we have discussed on this period. So the first question is, you have to define the term civics. So what is civics? Also, the second question mentioned 6 importances of studying civics. So here you have, or you are supposed to list down 6 importance of studying civics. Thank you for listening me.